Spotlight with Shadow, a Canadian dad who's got his finger on the pulse of global entertainment and sports. Each episode features unfiltered conversations with everyday creatives, musicians, wrestlers, filmmakers, and more from every corner of the globe. No fluff, just raw, real stories. This is Spotlight with Shadow, presented by Off the Top Media.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Spotlight with Shadow. I am your host, Shadow. Tonight, I am joined by stand-up comedian, part-time ref, and a full-time father. He is Paul Goneau. How are you tonight, my guy?
I'm doing all right, brother. I think I'm doing better than you're doing, you know. But it doesn't seem like it's hard. So what exactly happened with your computer, if you don't mind me asking?
So, for those of you that don't know, I had a mishap with my old chair, my office desk chair. She just gave out, and I went over and I kicked my desk in the process, and I tipped a drink onto my laptop.
Oh, it was the chair.
So my laptop got fried because of my drink. So we move on. Got a spare laptop kicking around.
All right.
So You're a stand-up comedian.
It's good. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. It's been a minute since I've seen you. It's only been a few weeks, but I feel like it's been a lifetime already. So you're a stand-up comedian. What is it? How long have you been doing it now?
Close to around 5 years, man. But like honestly, a lot of the time was pandemic. Like there was like 2 years of pandemic where I wasn't on stage at all. So I actually started a podcast as well. I just kind of needed an outlet. I kind of thought originally I might have, stopped the podcast after the pandemic, but I kept it going.
Fair enough. So where's the okay, so you started a podcast. What's that all about? You want to tell me about it?
There's not really when my girlfriend moved in with me, we had painted the spare room pink, and just some things aligned, like getting a huge tax return. I hadn't done my taxes for like 7 years. I highly recommend not doing your taxes for 7 years. I mean, it sounds weird because I had to pay a bunch up front, but then, dude, money was just rolling in, and it was at a time where like things just shut down. We got like those serve checks coming in too, and I was like, it's a no-brainer. I called it Pillow Talk because I had a spare bed in the room, and originally it was on a bed. Where I'm at currently, it's not on a bed, but going to be moving before the end of the year and putting it back to on a bed. So that's kind of, that's it.
I mean, that's a.
Got to get you on too at some point. We'll make it happen. I know you're a bit away, but we'll make it happen.
Man, I'm in Toronto enough where I'm come down, no problem. We just got to figure out a day and time that lines up, and we'll make this happen for sure. So the stand-up comedy you do, what kind of like comedy, like what's your genre? Like, do you have a specific aim that you go for, or you're just kind of like a open mic kind of guy and you just go at whoever?
Well, originally I trained at Second City in Toronto, and I did 2 levels there, and something that was interesting, like the comedians or teachers or whatever, the people that lead the classes, they're there to give their input and kind of, put you in a certain direction, kind of fit you into a box, I felt like. And I was always like, I don't get too political. I'll be real about that. I try to avoid, unless it's like really like a good bit, I try to avoid politics, because I'm the guy who's like, once you come into the club or into that room or wherever we are, the bar, whatever, I just kind of want you to forget about the bullshit that's outside of those walls, just for however I'm on stage, at least. And so an issue that I had with a lot of like my mentors, I guess, was that I had long story jokes. I had short one-liners. I had stories about my life. I had stories that were like completely made up, but just were funny. I do some crowd work. Like I'm kind of trying to take a bit of everything that I like. And the problem that the teachers had was that he said he didn't understand what I was trying to be. And I guess I'm just trying to be a mixture of things. I don't know if I have a style. If I would say anything, it's kind of silly, but I can get, I mean, you've seen a couple of my clips, and I mean, some people have found me offensive. I don't find myself an offensive comedian. And I don't really like when comedians call themselves like edgy and that kind of thing. So I don't know, man. I would encourage you to definitely try to come out to a show, or have some things online if you're watching. Yeah, check that stuff out.
So, without giving away where you live in Toronto. And so, what's the biggest venue you've worked in Toronto? What's the biggest venue you've worked outside of Toronto? Like, where's this taking you so far in your career?
So far, like I've done yucks in Toronto. I've done yucks, traveled to Niagara Falls, and the yucks there. I did like a small, I feel like I bombed at this like small, it was well paying, so I did it. It was kind of like in the boonies at like Gravenhurst. I traveled a little bit outside of the GTA. But I have started up, I don't know, maybe about 2 years into it, I started up just a show production company that my podcast is under, and I do 3 monthly shows out of Toronto and 1 in Mississauga. So I don't know, it's taken me, I didn't really think I'd ever, I don't know, start my own business. And so I guess that's an odd direction that comedy has taken me with. What inspired you to get into a podcast? Was it just like being a fan of wrestling and knowing so many people, or?
Truth behind the tale here is the name is our podcast name, but we had a Discord server beforehand, and a fallen friend of ours was the owner of that Discord, and me and my co-founder Scows, we started this because our buddy who passed away was huge into wrestling. We're big into wrestling too, and we wanted to keep honoring him, and we had this Discord, and we thought, why not do this online? And we took up and brought it to online, and then 2.5 years in, we merged with another company. We became Rivet City Radio, Off the Top Media. It's good. It's been fun. The inspiration is there for sure. But we never forget our roots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's important, man. It's important.
We don't try to distance too far there. Like, this is the original podcast logo right here. So
I dig it.
Corner is the newest, the latest edition. So you had mentioned the pandemic, the lockdown, and giving yourself that podcast vibe and stuff like that. So I guess in a way, as much as it drove us nuts, I guess we're thankful for that because it gave us these platforms. Because I don't know if I would have gotten into this without.
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, and see, it's interesting. Like, obviously, there's a lot of, bad things that happened during the pandemic, and we don't need to get into specifics, but just, I think it gave people a lot of time to figure out what's important. And this might come off some weird way, but it's just the truth. Easily, like a few days ago, I was talking to my lady, and we have like a 1-year-old. She's just over 1 now, and I was like, man, I could really use another pandemic, like in a non-disrespectful way. Just the time. Like, I feel like people didn't really, like, a lot of people started podcasts, or they're like, the sign for my podcast was my buddy and his wife. They started up a neon sign business, and it just so happened they wanted to, like, sponsor. And so we worked out like a good deal. And like, I think a lot of good came from the bad. And I think, I think that's just human nature, just try to make the best of a bad situation. I think a lot of people did. Unfortunately, some people didn't make it out, but such is life. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, hey, your friends that make neon signs, if you want to get us in contact here, I could use a nice sign. I'm just saying.
I can give you the link, man. We can definitely
Always like
talk about that for sure.
I like supporting small businesses. You know what I'm saying? So whether I don't know if they're small anymore, but hey, I'm here for it. Okay, so
Oh, they're still relatively small, man.
I met you through Northland Wrestling. So how does a comedian podcaster get there?
So I'm gonna be honest, for like quite a while, I stopped watching wrestling. I think a lot of my love came back with like indie wrestling. There's a promotion that's like not too far from me. Actually, it was like 10-minute drive from me. Called Destiny World Wrestling. They're branching out now and they're doing things out of, but like their home was like that close. And so I was going to a lot of live shows, and I just knew quite a few wrestlers. I had some wrestlers on my podcast before I even started reffing. And, you know, man, like obviously, like no one, well, I don't want to say no one, but I feel like there's very few people that start out just like everyone would prefer to be a wrestler, I think, you know, and I've loved wrestling for a long time. But when I was younger, like no one starts out like, I'm going to be a ref. I feel like it's super rare. I haven't met anybody in person that is like that, but yeah. So I injured my back when I was 16, like fractured it, dude, skateboarding because some fucking. Can I swear? I can swear, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not a PG show by any means.
Okay. And like there was some like 11, 12-year-olds at the skate park that were doing some really cool shit, and I was just up until that point, and I ever since I was just a get from A to B skateboarder. Like I would just ride around places, you know. I wasn't into really doing tricks, and I saw them doing some shit, thought I could do it. Fractured my back like on the half pipe, like legit was taken to sick kids hospital, one of 2 times I've ever been in an ambulance. So like being a wrestler just seemed like it was off the table for me. And like through a lot of conversations with some friends, and mainly one, I want to shout out Mikey Truth. He knew that I wanted to kind of, I don't know, get my toes in the industry. And seminar just came up with Jimmy Corderas and Harry D, and I did that. And then I started training at Battle Arts like twice a week. And
Battle Arts,
yeah, and then about 6 months later,
Battle Arts is Santino's gym, right?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's in Mississauga. Yeah,
That's dope. I mean,
and so that was it, man. 6 months later, I just started getting booked.
So how did you land in Northland though from Toronto? Like how did you make it from Toronto to North Bay? Like how did this come to where it is
Oh,
now?
you know, Northland. It's just, I guess, when you break it down, it's really just networking, like just being in good graces with other refs and being friends with some refs. And, you know, when certain promotions, I don't know, need a ref and you've been nice to people, polite, and just do your work properly, you know what you're doing, that kind of thing. People put your name in the hat, and that's really how I've gotten all my work. A lot of comedy through that way too, but like everything I've done in wrestling has just been, you know, someone recommending me to a promotion or a promoter.
So are you strictly working out of Northland or are you working other companies as well?
Yeah, I have like a few promotions that I work regularly. I would say Northland is one of my favorites. Pro Wrestling Eclipse is also another one that I like. That's kind of out of Oshawa, which is unfortunate to say because you know you got to go to Oshawa. But hey,
I mean, I spent a lot of time there. I know it's the dirty schwa for a reason, right? So
yeah, man.
Nobody likes going there. So couple weeks ago when I spoke to you, I asked you straight up, how often do you get asked or get told you look like Chester Bennington from Saw?
Yeah, from Saw. Yeah. You know what? Often, man. And like am a big Linkin Park fan, and early on in their career, I did like a little meet and greet thing, and I remember waiting in line, and people like chicks in the line were getting me to like put on his little black frame glasses and like taking photos with me. Like it's been like, and it's not something, it seems weird because they are one of my favorite bands, but like, dude, our body types are just the same. Our face like shape is the same. We have spacers. I don't know. Like but we do look a lot alike, and I get it quite often.
Given the fact that you're a Linkin Park fan, what do you think of the new way the band is going?
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good. You know, so I talked about this a lot, dude. When the live stream happened, um, like 5, 6 people messaged me right after. I don't know if you're like up to date, but they ended up doing that like live stream and announcing like the female singer. Obviously, I'm sure that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of mixed feelings. But I'll be real. It's mostly excitement. It's here's the thing, man. Chester's one of a kind. He's lightning in a fucking bottle. Okay. You're not gonna find anybody to fill his shoes ever. No matter if they have a fucking penis or not. Like it doesn't matter, dude. No one is gonna be able to do that. She certainly can. Okay. Like I really like the new song. But like I watched the live stream, and then it was only like 40 minutes. So that's like a small portion of the catalog. I was like, I want to hear what she's like on some of the other songs. And then somebody recorded their full show that they just did in Los Angeles, which had like a lot of other stuff. And like still, even with that second performance, I'm not super convinced that she has the range to really be doing some of the stuff like superhuman Chester Bennington was. Like it can't be overstated. This guy, like his range, even with his scream, his range was just next level. Like I've never heard Corey Taylor. Nobody, your favorite screamer doesn't have that range. They might be able to do it louder, but like just the range, and he can sing the soft stuff. She can nail the soft stuff. She does that really well. But like as far as the heavy stuff, like you're never going to hear that 17-second given up scream. You're never going to hear that again, you know? And there's just certain, I don't know, man, certain songs that just don't hit anymore. And I feel like they're going to kind of fizzle away, which is a little bit of a bummer. I'm interested to see what the new album sounds like. Like I said, I do like the new song. As you can tell, I've been talking for a bit. I am very passionate about this. My dog's name is Chester Bennington. I fucking love the guy, you know? And I would have preferred if they changed the name. But if they're going to keep the name, and I understand like the name is the value to like record companies. That's where the value is in the Linkin Park name. So if they're going to keep the name, I think a female is the best way to go. And she has a good voice, dude. It's not like she doesn't have a good voice. She's just not Chester. And I think it's gonna be rough. She's already talking about leaving the band, so who knows how long it's gonna last.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I mean, I'm a huge LP fan. I've been for the last 20 plus years. I have the complete signed band picture that hangs on my wall along with all my wrestling memorabilia, like that never leaves. I have the Funkos.
Hell yeah.
I have everything. I'm hoping. See, like an argument that I've had with people is simple. There was Linkin Park before Chester. There's going to be after. Linkin Park was more mainstream because of Chester. I'll give him that. I love Chester. I'm not even diminishing what he's done. But also Emily.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Emily in her own right is good as well. But like there's a lot of songs like Numb, crawling, everything like that, that has such an actual emotional voice coming out of it with Chester. Emily doesn't have that emotional attachment to that song, so it's not going to hit that same way. So I think you nailed on it. These old songs are going to be kind of archived, and this new stuff moving forward is what they're going to sing, with maybe popping up like an In the End or something here and there. But I don't think I think it's a whole new chapter now.
Yeah, it's LP 2.0. This is my daughter's Linkin Park. Chester Bennington was our Linkin Park. And like that's cool. And like I'm a huge Mike Shinoda fan as well. And Chester was the last person to join the band. He wasn't even the original. You know, if we're talking facts, I don't think that matters because of the impact he had. You know, and I think it doesn't that it just resonated with people. And yeah, I think what you said is exactly true, man. Like he wrote that stuff. You know, and I like the Emptiness Machine, and
it's a good song.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt right now. I'm excited. I'm probably going to go see the tour when they come.
I'm 100% if they come to
unless
Toronto.
The album really stinks. I don't think the album's going to stink, though. It's like the other people. You know what really bummed me out about the whole thing, I'll be real, man, was that like Brad was taking the back seat and that Rob wasn't there. Like Chester died. I get it. He can't be there, you know, but I do wish that the other guys were in the band.
Well, I know
she gets a thumbs up from me, man.
I know the one dude is still technically very much involved with everything. He just doesn't want to tour. I just can't remember if it's Rob or not.
Yeah.
Like he's still very much into everything they're doing. He just doesn't want to do the touring part, which, I mean, he's not a young man anymore either. He doesn't want to be doing it forever.
And hey, man, that's everyone's prerogative, you know.
But I can tell
it's got to be a lot. It's got to be a lot of Beatles.
I can tell you if LP
to be in
comes
Lincoln
to
Park,
Toronto,
that's a lot of work.
I'm going. 100% going to Toronto if Toronto gets a date.
Yeah, bro.
I'm going. That'll be my 12th time seeing the band, and I'm going.
12, eh? Dude, I've seen them like 4 or 5 times, and I thought that was like, damn. Yeah, you got it, man. And like that, dude, did you ever go to the Summer how old are you? If you don't mind me asking. Did you go to the Summer Sanitarium thing? It was like Metallica, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Mudvayne, Deftones. Oh my god, dude! Like ticket prices, that was like $115, dude, to see all those guys, and they were all huge. It was like early 2000s, like probably like 2003 or something.
In fairness, 5 of my
but I'll pay a lot to see Linkin Park.
5 of the times I've seen Linkin Park.
Pardon? Would you say they're your favorite band? Have you seen any other bands more than Linkin Park?
I have not seen any bands more than Linkin Park.
All right, that's what's up.
So
this was like when you asked me, you were like, oh, you better say the right things.
Slipknot's close, but like not that close, you know. So what is
All
your
right,
biggest? What is your biggest inspiration when it comes to comedy? Like who do you try? Who made you love comedy?
Who made me love comedy? Okay. So, if I'm being honest, 2 names come to mind. 2 names. The person who like introduced me to comedy, like the first time I heard it, it was like, this is amazing. Like I didn't know people could do this. Was George Carlin. And it was interesting because he was originally the conductor from Thomas the Tank Engine, you know? And so that was when I heard him saying the stuff he did, I kind of like it made me listen a little more. And I was young and I never really heard a lot of people talk like that before. And that was my introduction that really kind of made me want to explore. And then honestly, I don't want to say, because like none of my comedy it's weird. If I was to give you like a top 5 of all my comedians, they wouldn't be what my style is. Like I have my favorite comedians, and then I think a different list would be like my influences, like the people that
All right.
actually influence me. So
let me
like,
stop you there. What is?
I'm gonna say, okay.
I'll stop you. What is your Mount Rushmore of comedy?
Ooh, my round. God, that's such a.
Your Rushmore.
I've never been asked this question. Okay, so first, I'm going Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle. Oh man, George Carlin's on there. Like I want to say Lady just to be fair, but like a Lady isn't in my top 5. I would probably say, man, Jim Carrey.
That's fair. That
Honestly, if it was 5 people, Chris Farley would probably be on there. I think he was gone way before his time, and everything he did was just golden. But do you have a Mount Rushmore of comedy?
Oh no!
Are you into comedy like a lot, or
I can't.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
A couple guys that I love, and it's maybe it's just a Canadian love here, but like Carey is one, Farley is another.
Yeah.
He was the owner of the Argos, John Candy. I mean, he wasn't a stand-up comedian really, but
John Candy. That's no, he did some. Yeah. You could. I would definitely say you could put him on there. Sure.
I like Mike Myers' work because he's good improving.
Oh yeah, another Canadian. I guess. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah.
Russell Peters sneaks in there just because I love that guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean Farley was taken far too soon, 100%. Imagine the Sandler movies he would have been in going forward, though, like the roles that were made for him, and you can tell they were made for Farley.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that he was supposed to be like Grown Ups. Kevin James and Grown Ups was actually originally written for Chris Farley. He didn't do a lot of stuff, man, and it's so unfortunate. But like, if you've never, so like his entrance into David Letterman is like historic, dude. It's legendary. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like, especially for like a bigger dude, and I imagine he might have been on the drugs when he did this, but just running around everywhere in the crowd, like for a big dude, by all rights, he shouldn't have been as physical as he was. He doesn't get the credit he deserves because he didn't do he doesn't have a large body of work,
Definitely gonna have to check out that Letterman thing. I've never seen it. I just never have. All right, so I asked you your Mount Rushmore.
I'll send you the link, dude. I'll send you the link.
Please do. So I asked you your Mount Rushmore of comedy. What's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? And don't give me the stereotypical bullshit. I want your Mount Rushmore. It can be anybody.
Okay, we're not talking like reps, right? We're talking wrestlers.
I mean, if you want to give me reps too, let's do both.
No, I'm good. I'd rather just do the wrestlers. I only have like a few reps that I like anyway. But Jimmy Corderas is the best ref of all time, hands down. Okay, so man, of all time, this is Mount Rushmore. Okay,
however,
this is so serious. Stone Cold. Stone Cold's my number one. I want to put. This gets a lot of shit from wrestling fans, but I got to put Ultimate Warrior. And the reason I guess I'll defend him a little bit because he gets a lot of shit and like wasn't the most technical at all, if anything. But like, dude, like I'm a guy who's big into like characters. Like that's why earlier when I said like I kind of stopped watching wrestling for a bit because I felt like when WWE bought WCW for a brief little bit, it was good, but it kind of fizzled off, and then there was a lot of just like pretty boys with nice haircuts, and they just all did the same moves, and it got a little boring for me. So characters have always been my thing, and no one. I mean, just an unmatched energy, and just I don't know if the word mysticism about like he was just as a kid. Like I've been watching wrestling since like Barney, and as a kid, he was like the first guy that I was just like, oh, like every time I saw him, I was like edge of my seat. He gave me that. So Ultimate Warrior's number 2. Mick Foley. I got to give Mick Foley his due, man. Just because he did that hardcore style, I think a lot of people don't like to. But he did some. He has some of the most memorable moments. He could be funny. He could be creepy. He had 3 gimmicks. Sometimes that he did in the same night. Like nobody did it like him. That's 3, and then this is just so rough, dude. Because like I want to name a bunch of like I can name Taker, I can name Angle, I can name I don't know, but I like right now, nobody has me more excited. I could say Hogan too. Fuck, but I'm gonna say MJF, dude. That's it. That's my number 4. I got to put him on there. I think just with he hasn't had a long career, but just with the short career he's had, he's easily the most interesting thing in AEW. And I think he's a great wrestler. I think he's the complete package. I could have put The Rock there. The Rock, I think, oh man, it's too many. That's my 4. That's my final answer, dude. That's what I'm going to say for now. Those are my guys.
You overanalyze that way too much.
Sorry if that took so long.
My 4, very simple. Savage, Orton, Bray, and Roman.
Fucking Orton. Orton's like, dude, Orton's like my favorite wrestler in WWE right now. And consistently the best. Like, he doesn't disappoint, ever.
You'd said
that saw the list.
Or you had said that Mick Foley, nobody's done it like him. I'll argue one name that has, but hasn't done 3 characters, but he's done 2. Well, I guess you could say 3.
Okay.
But that's Bray. Bray and Mick are the only 2 that have pulled off multiple personalities, and it's worked.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's unfortunate, how things work out. How do you feel about how they're paying respects to him now?
I love what the Wyatt.
How do you feel about it?
I'm glued to my TV every time it's on. And if I miss it, I'm finding it on Twitter.
That's what it's about.
I got one final question before we wrap up. So your daughter's just over a year old. So what is life different from 2 years ago to now being a girl dad?
Oh, to being a girl dad. Do you have kids? Do you have any kids or?
I have 4.
4. My God. Because the way you said it, I was like, oh, for sure this guy's a girl dad. You're a girl dad. What do you have?
I have 3 boys and a girl.
Okay. The difference is man, I hate leaving. I hate not being with her. My day-to-day life is obviously like, we could talk about sleep or whatever, but I'm more compassionate. I'm more restrained. Like I'm trying, instead of just like, she's helping me be a better me. And it came so effortlessly and almost instantly. She just brings out the best in me. And like I said, like I could use another pandemic, not in a disrespectful way, but just because like I just want to be with her all the time. I don't want to, I don't want to go to work. And like, dude, I went to school, like my 9-to-5 job, like I'm a chef, and like I went to school for that. Like obviously I do love that on some level, but like, yeah, the nighttime, the comedy is not too bad, because that's at night she's sleeping. But like anytime I miss anything, I have fear of missing it. Is there something that changed with you Like,
A lot. My daughter was
4 is a
born.
lot. Maybe after the first one, maybe advice
So my oldest
like
son,
you'd give to your younger self.
my oldest
Okay.
son is 13. My next son is 11. My daughter is 5, which she is born right 8 months prior to the pandemic starting. So I had all the pandemic to be with her. And then my youngest son is just over a year old. 3 of my kids came up to North Lane there when I came up to watch in North Bay. My oldest son was away for the summer with his grandparents. But the question was, well, how does my daughter change me? Well, before my daughter, I was a very angry person. I didn't give a shit about the world. I mean, I had 2 kids prior to that, but like my outlook was, they're boys, they're gonna be fine. But once I had my daughter, it changed everything about me. I'm cool. I'm cooler. I'm calmer. I'm collected. I'm just better because of her.
It's crazy. And she's so, oh man, like I do want a boy. Like ideally the I don't know if I could go 4, but I would like to have at least 2. And originally I was saying like, oh man, I don't want to say I would be disappointed if we had a second child and it was a girl, but originally I don't know. I guess I would have been a little disappointed, but now I feel, now that I've had her and I'm living with her and I just see how she it's hard to explain. Well, you're a dad, but just how she kisses like her stuffies and just the man, anytime she just kisses me without asking for it, or man,
it's a different kind of love for sure.
I don't know. It is. I'm sorry if I rambled on, and I just want to say for the people watching, sometimes I feel like we were a little, like there was like a gap between us, so it might seem weird watching it where I'm responding to something that you said maybe like a second before. I don't know if you can clean that up or what the deal is, but if you notice that, it's not me. It's not because I'm stoned. I am stoned, but that's not why.
That being said, Paul, thank you for being a guest on Spotlight with Shadow. This is the segment where I let you plug everything you have coming up, no matter what it is. Got merch, whatever you have, go ahead and plug it now, sir.
All right, man. I don't know. You can check out my YouTube channel. I'm really close to being monetized there. Subscribe to that. It's just my name, Paul Goneau, on everything: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. My next show that I'm producing is in Etobicoke on October 19th. I'll send you the link. Hopefully you can post it in wherever people are checking this out. But if not, yeah, come to my Instagram, whatever, everything, Paul Goneau. And dude, thank you so much for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.